The Acolyte, a generational disaster. Fans to blame. And of course, they blame the fans. It's a male-dominated... It was a male-dominated franchise. It was a male-dominated franchise, and they tried to turn it into a Barbie brand, and it didn't work. So what do? They blame the males who didn't want to watch a Barbie brand. I mean, go figure. There's a reason why the Barbie movie did good, because women want to see women things. And guys will want to see women things with women when they're crushing on them. That's why Twilight did so well. A lot of guys went to go see it because they were crushing on a girl. Not because it's a good movie, but because they were crushing on a girl. I love you. Crap. Here we go again. Oh my gosh, I remember seeing this. They burned down an entire stone fortress with this book on fire. An entire stone and metal fortress with a single book. The whole thing is absolutely retarded. This is just retarded central.
Are you retarded?
That's what I just said.
Nerdrotic.com.
Greetings, you millions of voices who suddenly cried out with glee when you found out the Acolyte was canceled, and the 40% who haven't subscribed.
With how bad of a series it is, because it is in Star Wars, it is just absolute trash. I do want to get a sequel. I do. As bad as it was, I just want to see how bad it can get. I know the funny thing is I used to watch Star Wars every year, multiple times a year even, because it was like one of my favorite franchises. Absolutely. And guess what? I no longer watch it because it no longer means anything to me. It really does. It doesn't hold the same value as it used to.
Subscribed yet? It's been a year and a half since the show whose pitch made Kathleen Kennedy cry was given the axe by Kathleen Kennedy.
She's a miser!
Making 5s and 10s of the fans and thousands of content creators cry. Because, and this is a bit of a shocker, the Acolyte was actually too woke and
made money for most content creators. Of course, nobody watched what I do because nobody knows me. But at the same time, it's funny to see like people who are trashing on it. Were like at like 1,000 views, and then immediately they skyrocketed to like 50,000 subscribers and everything. Just like, gosh dang, I should have done more hate videos on it.
cringe for Lucasfilm. Yet some people just can't let it go, including the Acolyte showrunner, former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, who's come out of the woodwork to finally accept full responsibility for the show's failure. No, I'm just kidding. She blames YouTubers.
Here we go. Here we go.
That's right. She blames YouTube commentary for shaping the conversation around the show.
No duh. The audience, the fans are the ones who should shape it. That's the thing. It's like people are so unhappy, especially like the mainstream media is so unhappy that regular people have a voice. Regular people have a voice. And yeah, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah, a lot of people's pockets got full because people would rather watch people hate watch something than to, because drama gets views. There's like, again, like I mentioned last time when I was watching like Indian Fatigue, people make those hate videos because guess what? They'll make a ton of money off of doing it. Even though they know they're lying most of the time and misleading, they do it because they make a ton of money. The funny thing when you turn against a fandom is the fans are right. They're not creating hate content. They're creating honest reviews, honest reactionary content to the crap you are creating, destroying what they loved. So it's not the same, but at the same time, it's drama, and it baits out more people interested because a lot of people hate when things they love get trashed. They do. They really do. So they'll watch it, and then they end up getting more views and more money than the actual showrunners that created the trash.
she made and leading to its cancellation. First off, to echo the sentiments of my fellow content creators, you're welcome. But in all seriousness, I wish we had that kind of power, because Kurtzman Trek would no longer exist, Doctor Who might still be alive, and the Rings of Power wouldn't have happened. The fact of the matter is, since the Acolyte was announced back in 2020 and
honestly, when I heard it was being announced, I was actually happy for it. I was. The Acolyte, you're getting a perspective from the Sith. But no, that's not what it was about. I think they enjoy making Indian fatigue vids, not just for money. Yeah, they have fun. And it's hate. It's hate. It's rage baiting. It's rage baiting. It really is. So every hate comment I get actually helps push my channel. Every like I get, even some of the dislikes, helps push my channel. Even though it's not always the kind of traction you want or the types of comments you want, it helps. So if someone is negative towards me, I just thank them. It's like, you didn't truly listen to everything I said, but thank you for stopping by. Thank you for leaving the comment. It helps. Something like that. There's no reason on being completely angry at the people for leaving a comment. I have to look at my wife for that, because she'll get mad. Yeah, people enjoy hating. People hate it when someone has a different perspective. People also do the same. Oh yeah. Of course. I don't want to be that guy, but people also in India do the same thing for North Indians as they do for South Indians. And it's just, there's always racial tension. There's always racial tension. Just like New Yorkers hate people from New Jersey, because New Jersey people call themselves New York. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. Every nation, every civilization, every group, every organization, everyone does it. Everyone does it. But the funny thing is like something like Star Wars, something like something that has a massive fan base. When you start to gut it and destroy it, guess what? You're being attacked by all sides. Because a fan base doesn't have like a political line or an idealistic line or anything. They just have what they love.
Former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, Leslie Headland, was attached. It was one of the most predictable failures in the history of predictable failures. And it became the symbol of Disney's Star Wars failures for a myriad of reasons, which we will get to. But first, let's hear what Leslie Headland has to say. Leslie Headland labels YouTube Star Wars commentators fascist and racist.
I'll wear that with a crown. Honestly, I'll wear that with a crown. The fact that people like that made those words have no meaning. And I say, give it 5 more years, and then people will actually be willing to find out what the swastika actually means. Give it 5 more years. Because the term Nazi, the term fascist, the term racist, everything has lost all its meaning because they constantly throw those words around. They constantly throw those words around. So give it 5 more years, and then people will actually be opening to hearing what the real term for swastika, or what the real meaning for a swastika is. Not the Nazi flag, but a real swastika.
While discussing why the Acolyte was canceled.
So this is a good thing.
Now, she
it's a good thing.
Up with things like, I did start to feel that when my Star Wars show came out in 2024, I remember thinking, oh gosh, I wish it wasn't coming out in an election year. I think that's contributed to the move away from DEI hires. That's a neat rationalization.
DEI hires was a position that never deserved to be there. You hire people who are qualified for the job. Not because you need to meet a quota. You hire the best person for the job. What does fascist even mean? It's basically like a dictatorship. A government that completely controls the media, completely controls like every aspect of your life. It's basically like what the Nazi Party was fascist. Stalin was a fascist. Like, you know, that kind of, all dictatorships fall under like a fascist category. Fortune and good luck and prosperity. Yeah, I remember when I found out about it. I was like 10 years old and I saw it. It was tattooed in an anime character. It was tattooed on his forehead. It was on a monk's forehead. And I was confused. It was like, why is that there? Guess what? I did the research and I found out. But the thing is, like, Japan has become more westernized that now I doubt they would ever actually put a swastika on a character's forehead or show it in their media, because the West has started to take on so much of that culture that they are afraid to ignite that, even though they used to have it in there. If you think being obese is unhealthy, then you are a fascist. Yes, basically. Basically. What is another thing? What is another thing that people just randomly call you? Oh, if I don't like Star Wars now, I'm a fascist. Or if I say there are only 2 genders, I'm a fascist. Or if I say that people should work for a living to earn for themselves, I'm a fascist. My house probably has 4 swastikas. Yeah. Outside right now. Yeah. Like, this is the thing. My wife wouldn't be able to put one up outside. She wouldn't. She just wouldn't. I mean, inside the house is a different story. But, yeah. She wouldn't. I dare you. I dare you. Yeah, because like during the Holy, right? You would always do the design. Oh, it was just Diwali? Yeah, she would always do the design and colors and put like the swastika. I mean, I'd like for you to do that here. Not here. We're in the middle of nowhere. You could get away with it. It'd get blown away eventually. It's all done with like that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just fans. But yeah, most things lose their meanings over time, especially when they're overused or misused, completely misused, like the swastika has been for a long time now. A long time, ever since it's been mistranslated. Because I remember talking with my mother about it. It's like, oh, no, this is the swastika. No, it's this. No, it's been used for thousands of years in different places. Oh, no, it's this. It's like, okay.
But in truth, it had nothing to do with it being an election year and had everything to do with shows like yours being the reason people are moving away from DEI hires. Because nobody's watching them, ergo, they're not making any money. Leslie also says that The Acolyte was always a major risk. Sure, in the sense that you decided to base a show in the failed High Republic storyline, which took the place of the highly popular expanded universe.
Yeah, the High Republic. Oh my gosh, that's one thing I didn't like about what was it? Jedi Survivor. They were trying to force the High Republic storylines. The High Republic was dead on arrival. Nobody cared about Star Wars anymore. And they were trying to sell the High Republic as the peaceful time in the galaxy. No, I'm sorry, it's called Star Wars. Nobody cares about the peaceful time in the galaxy. They want to know about the Mandalorian Wars. They want to know about when the Sith ruled. They want to know about when the Jedi became corrupt, like Exar Kun. That's what they wanted to know. They did not want to know about, oh, this Jedi went here and told this civilization, you are okay. And then they went over here and were like, no, you need to treat each other the same. And then they were okay. And then they went over here and were like, you can't have slaves, but you are ruled by the Hutts, so you are okay. I mean, it's so stupid. Nobody cares about that.
Whose cancellation led to a lot of pissed off Star Wars fans. That's risky, but as far as taking a diverse female character and shoehorning her into a prequel of a beloved
I hated her. I hated her in Obi-Wan. I didn't even finish. She was loud, obnoxious, thought she was right about everything. And I already knew what they were going to do with her, and I just didn't care.
Intellectual property to make her far more significant than the legacy characters.
Yeah, they destroyed Doctor Who.
Trope.
I've had an upgrade.
She also made excuses that she couldn't use things like politics, the Empire, or stormtroopers, but she did have Jedi. To her credit, Leslie did say that any gripes creatively with the show are completely valid. Well, then I guess we're done here because...
Only the creative gripes? Even the timeline? Characters who weren't born in that period in time, which existed? It's funny how the fans knew more about the lore than the creators. They literally put this person who's not even born yet in the series because they wanted people excited.
The vast majority of gripes, including mine, about the show were what happened within the show. That's people's reaction. It's usually their reaction to their own reaction.
What?
What the are you talking about?
Then Leslie undermines that statement with what comes next. When asked by The Wrap, what was the experience for you to see the show not only get attacked, but weaponized by certain parts of the media? Oh, and as far as certain parts of the media weaponizing things, believe me, we'll get to that too. But first, let's hear from Ms. Headland. While claiming she was not online during the Acolyte discourse, she did reiterate once again that she was a Star Wars fan. Indeed,
No. No Star Wars fan would ever create something like that. It's just no. Like most Star Wars fan, even if they like write their own fanfic, they would never allow their own fan fiction to become mainstream. They never would, because they know it's not good enough. A true fan would know that their work, if it was not good enough, is not good enough. They wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a huge fan, so of course, I'm going to be able to write a good story. No, not everyone can write a good story.
fan of all the Star Wars.
So when people are like, what's your favorite Star Wars movie? I'm like, there is no Star Wars movie.
Star Wars became known as A New Hope when they continued the series. Empire is known as Empire. Empire Strikes Back is known as Empire, short version. And then there is Return of the Jedi. Those are like the three most known because everyone loves them. Yeah, Rogue One was actually pretty good, but at the same time, it was like a offshoot to the offshoot. It's just like Empire. You can't say, oh, I don't have, everyone does. You can't be like, oh, they're all good. You're already not a fan by saying that. You can enjoy them all, sure, but everyone's got a favorite. Just ask a parent. She's acting like, oh, no, they're all good. It's like my mother being like, oh, all of my kids are my favorites. Like, no. At every given moment, you have a favorite.
There is only Star Wars.
Take this portrait of a single cloud.
I am a Star Wars fan, which means I've always been since the launch of the YouTube part of the Star Wars recap, criticism, lionization fandom community. These guys I've known for years and years, so when I got the information from others about what the weather report was, there was this real concern from friends of mine or co-workers of mine that saddened me. Well, what's happened to Star Wars has saddened me and so many others. I was also like, I know who these
It's like just seeing that.
guys are. You don't have to tell me who's talking about it or how bad it is online. I know exactly who they are. I supported them on Patreon.
It's a total fabrication.
And this is the part about YouTubers that's making the rounds. There are some of them that I respect. There are some of them that I think are absolute snake oil salesmen, just opportunists, and you would know a thing or two about that, wouldn't you, Leslie? Then, of course, there are the fascists and the racists. Yep, that large contingent of fascist and racist Star Wars fans. I remember as a kid all the ones who were rooting for the Empire and hated Lando Calrissian. And then that next generation that hated Mace Windu.
Mace Windu was one of the best introductions. Absolutely. As soon as you saw him, you're like, I want to see more of him. Sure, the movies weren't great, but you want to see more of him. You really do. It's just a complete... The fans were fans. It's like saying, oh, Dragon Ball Z was only loved by Japanese people. Oh, everyone else hated it because it was only made for the Japanese. It was like, no. Every community, every single place loves Dragon Ball Z. Heck, you look at what's happening in the world, you see people flying One Piece flags when they're fighting against their own government. It's great. Well, they're flying their nation's flag and One Piece flags. Only in the US are they flying some other nation's flag, never an American flag and never a One Piece flag, because they just don't know anything. But yeah, it was, things are just generational. Things are just fans. People can be fans of something. Sure, not everyone will line up politically, but you don't have to care about something political to be a fan of something that's what is it called? Bipartisan? That doesn't matter. It's supposed to just entertain. There's a reason why a lot of the Japanese animes were seen around the world and absolutely loved, because they just were general stories that everyone could relate to. Everyone could see themselves as a character.
But you know, the only certifiable racist thing done to Star Wars was from Disney when they shrunk Finn on the poster for China. Something I was completely against, but now I'm for it, considering Finn actor Jonathan Boyega said this about the fandom.
They're pandering. Let me tell you, Star Wars always had the vibe of being in the most widest elite space.
Oh, the most widest elite space. And then they shrink him and destroy his character. The funny thing is everyone was excited about Finn. A black stormtrooper, when everyone knows that the clone troopers weren't. It's just like, what the heck is going on? And then they find out, like, oh, he's falling away. Maybe he has force powers. Everyone was interested about his character, and then they destroyed him. Nothing pisses me off more than flying other countries' flags in the country for a protest. Yeah, it doesn't. It makes no sense. Like, One Piece makes sense. Why? Because it's fictional. It's a pirate flag. It's a Straw Hat Pirates. It makes sense. But it's like, it's alongside their nation's flag because they love their nation and they want to fight for its freedom. Not like in America where they're flying a nation's flag for some, it's like the Palestinian flag, the gay flag, the Mexican flag, every nation's flag, except there's no American flags.
But the franchise is so wide that it's like a black person existing in that was something. And you can always tell it's something when some Star Wars fans try to say, well, we had Lando Calrissian and it had Samuel L. Jackson. It's like telling me.
Yeah. We also had Darth Vader. One of the most iconic. James Earl Jones, his voice, there's no way you can't label him as the epitome of Star Wars. You couldn't have Star Wars without James Earl Jones. It's funny how the people who are most racist are the ones who point out racism.
How many cookie chips are on the cookie dough? I'm like, bro, they just scattered that in there, bro. They're okay with us playing the best friend. But once we touch their heroes, once we lead, once we trailblaze, it's like, oh my God, it's just a bit too much.
Enough is enough. I have had it with these mother snakes.
Anyway, so Leslie continues. So I think if you're in part of the fandom, you understand the genre and the tone of particular channels and creators.
Yeah, fans. The people who are fans. They don't like seeing what they love destroyed for an agenda. It's that simple. They don't like seeing what they love destroyed because someone just wants to appease a modern audience or a broader audience, and they destroy what the franchise stood for to begin with.
Interesting, because I could say the same about certain activist creators who hitch their wagon to beloved intellectual properties in Hollywood. The content that is being put out by streamers or the studios, I'm glad you're calling it content because that's exactly what it is being snatched up by other creators. And so commentaries, synopsis, live videos, all of the ways these creators make money through view.
Yep. They make money. The funny thing is it's not like rage bait or drama bait. It is drama, but it's the truth. It's a train wreck. Everyone goes to see a train wreck. Like when you're driving on the side of the road and there's an accident nearby, the majority of traffic slows down just to look. But because you can't look away. And what does everyone do? They go to the channels that are reporting on the train wreck. Because they themselves don't want to do the dirty work of watching it. They'd rather just check on what someone's reporting on it. Because it's more entertaining that way. Because you're seeing someone else struggle through the whole bit rather than you having to struggle through it.
Viewer-based ad revenues and their Patreons, and there's a lot of money to be made. The typical deflection from calling us fascist and racist to grifters. To that, well, you caught me. Every weekend I secretly break out my 4K Steelbox Acolyte and watch it. And I'm sure Leslie, just like the rest of us, waited in lines at midnight to watch The Empire.
I wish. I really wish. Sadly, the only film I was able to watch in theaters was The Force Awakens. That was the only one I was old enough to actually go and watch in theaters. And you know what? I never went to watch a midnight screening of a Star Wars film ever again. I never watched the second film for a long time. I waited until the third one came out and I was like, okay, I'll watch the second one. How bad could it be? I didn't realize because I wasn't in the loop of that. I enjoyed what I enjoyed, and then I just created content on the side. I did random things. Back in the day, I was making like AMVs and things like that. I mean, I've been on YouTube for 20 years now. Yeah, on and off. On and off. And it's just like, this is the first time I've actually like committed to it because I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. But it's just like things started getting taken away, and it's just that's when you start getting enraged. And it's just like I saw everything dying, and then my wife introduced me to a different sort of cinema that didn't care about that kind of crap, and I'm like, okay, cool, finally. And then I see some movies, and I'm like, oh no, don't give up your power. Don't do this. Don't do that. Oh my gosh, it's sad. It's sad. The only one I ever got to see opening night was The Force Awakens, and I never went back because it was just that bad. Like, for me, it was just like, I didn't care for it. It was like the same feeling I had when I watched Avatar. It's cool when you're watching it, but as I walked out, I was like, there was nothing of substance there. Nothing of substance. So I never went back to watch another Star Wars because the old ones, even watching it in home, it has substance. It has meaning. Even the trashy prequels, the cheesy prequels, I should say. They're not trashy. They're just cheesy. Especially the first one, second one.
Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and all the prequels. Sat by the radio every Sunday night to listen to the Star Wars radio show on NPR. Waited by the mailbox for that next copy of Bantha Tracks because I'm sure Leslie was a member of the Star Wars fan club. Did those extra chores to get that sweet Hoth playset. Read Splinter of the Mind's Eye 100 times over during that 3-year wait between Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. Or listening to the Star Wars soundtrack so much your siblings wanted to murder you. And I'm sure every creator like Leslie hasn't used Star Wars as just an opportunity to put something else on their resume and use it as a platform for the message. Never happens.
Never.
But then she goes on to say that the studios actually listen to YouTubers. But it revealed to me that there is a misunderstanding between the studios and that engagement. They think of it as fandom, and in a way it is, but studios almost use it as a focus group. For one, the reason for the high engagement from all these content creators is because it is fandom, and studios would be...
And people want to hear from other fans. A lot of people hate seeing what's destroyed around them. Like, there's a reason why, like, politics gets destroyed too, is people start getting tired of hearing these people that tell you how it should be. It's like, let me hear from someone who actually has their foot to the ground. And it's like fandoms are that way. Who actually knows the lore? Who actually knows what's actually possible in the world? Like the freaking light speed travel crap made no sense in this film. Absolutely none. As one ship leaves, another ship immediately arrives. It's just like, did they just pass each other in passing? That's not how light speed works. They established it roughly in Star Wars, A New Hope.
Smart to listen to them as a focus group because you're getting real-time, authentic opinions for the most part, and that studio should be...
Yeah, because of them, because of the fans making comments, they had a throwaway line. What is it? ADR? I think it's called is it ADR? Where they record audio after the fact. But they had an ADR line that was added into the following episode because they were there to kill somebody, and they were just like, why are they there? And then they introduced a throwaway line. They edited in right before the following episode because all the commentary channels were saying, this is stupid. Why are they here? So they had to throw in some throwaway line.
Thinking whatever god they worship, probably Moloch, that people still care.
Moloch.
But to push the narrative that studios are listening to content creators, or more importantly, the people in their comment sections in their chats, is preposterous. Because if they did, the Acolyte would have never been made and they would have saved hundreds of millions of dollars. But then Ms. Headland says something I completely agree with. It made me start to think that rather than these fans are toxic, you're getting there, or this thing is being mean to me, it made me think more that the content being made about Star Wars will ultimately be more culturally impactful than the actual Star Wars. And I think she's starting to get it, because the most interesting and engaging thing about Disney Star Wars is the conversation and discourse around it. It certainly isn't the stories. They range.
Nobody cares about the stories. It's everything that's leading up. How many characters have lost their careers and all that stuff. How many actors have lost their careers. It is crazy.
From boring to downright hateful to its own legacy and hateful to the fans. Lucasfilm and their willing and able comrades in the Access media have created this space through gaslighting the fandom to deflect from their own failures. Case in point, Moses Ingram with Obi-Wan Kenobi, who
blaming the fans. She just wasn't fit for the role. It has nothing to do with her skin tone. It had everything to do with her not being a good actress. And sadly, well, I don't know if she's not a good actress. It was just a terrible role. It was a terrible character. I hated the character. And I'm someone who can separate the artist from the art. I don't care what the artist has to say, because most of the time they don't understand what the world goes through. They are so detached. They're just paid to be a talking puppet. That's what they are. It's the character that sucked. It's that simple. It's that simple. The character absolutely sucked. If there was someone else in the role, maybe it couldn't have been better. It couldn't have been better. Just ruined it for the black people by being entitled. But that's the thing, is I think it's become such a calling card since 2008 to fall back, especially in the US, to fall back on your skin color. To fall back on, even in Europe, basically, to make it all about race, to make it all about being belittled, or being, oh, I'm not allowed in this because I'm of this persuasion. When nobody cares, people just care about the character. People care about the character, and that was it. That was absolutely it.
Was warned she was going to get some clapback, and then magically they found 3 messages, which, wherever they're from, she shouldn't have gotten, but they decided to weave it.
3 messages. Yeah. Just like religion in India. Yeah. It's always best if you just leave things alone. Leave things alone. It's best to just leave it out. Leave it out. Entertainment should be entertainment. It should be.
Entire narrative about it.
They're trying to help you prepare for this backlash, and there are people out there who say
he is like the worst, the biggest creep. The biggest creep. All he's there for is to bait people into saying something controversial.
some really awful things.
You know, they've been really great about connecting me with the people who've like been through this.
We stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
The same thing happened with The Acolyte, with Leslie Headland taking a preemptive soft shot at the fandom 4 days before the damn thing came out. And that's because in both cases, Disney Lucasfilm knew they had a turd on their hands, and they needed to shift the narrative and blame the customer.
All the women just die on their own. It was so freaking retarded, the entire thing. And the women gain power by singing. Ooh. Oh my gosh. It was funny because there were people who were doing like related to like women health groups. And they would show like what the Acolyte does. And then they show like a woman health group. And their health group is like banging something against a tree and shouting really loud. Apparently that's supposed to help them mentally. Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous.
Because that always works. That's Disney, Lucasfilm, and hell, Hollywood marketing 101. Create a victim, throw in some emotional blackmail, create the bad fan narrative, and then you have a bunch of people fighting for a bad show. And let's not forget, Leslie Headland personally invited some YouTubers over to visit at Lucasfilm, and some of the YouTubers pictured here were part of a campaign to get channels like yours truly, The Critical Drinker, Geeks and Gamers, and Ryan Kinnell's RK Outpost deplatformed for criticizing a TV show. To YouTube's credit, they told him to pound sand, but you know what the solution is to shutting down your critics and winning over new fans? Making a good show. I don't hate to break this to you, but The Acolyte earned its 19% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, its 3.2 audience score on Metacritic, and its rather high 4.3 audience score on IMDb. And it earned its very unusually public cancellation by Disney. And why was it canceled? Because it cost too much money, not enough people watched it, and it was really bad. And you know whose responsibility that isn't? YouTubers and the fans. Last time I checked, YouTubers didn't hire the former personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein to head a Star Wars show and give her $230 million to write fan fiction. Content creators didn't greenlight a Star Wars show that was pitched as Frozen meets Kill Bill. We didn't come up with the scripts that were the writing equivalent to taking George Lucas's lore to Harvey's office, which included things like singing communist lesbian space witches, a fire in space, and this scene.
As he begins to untie a belted knot from around his waist, she straightens up for a better look. He begins to undress, revealing a prominent scar on his well-toned back. Dropping his billowy-legged hakama pants, he steps forward with the sunlight accentuating his taut muscles.
Star Wars, nothing but Star Wars.
YouTubers didn't hire a lead actor who could barely speak English or a lead actress to play two roles with one facial expression. I don't think the critical drinker told Leslie Headland
They had to change her clothes because, she had no expression. She had no acting skill for that.
wife to go attack fans. It wasn't our decision to allow the adult pretenders to open their pie holes and say the dumbest things possible.
The best parts about Star Wars is there is no good or evil. It depends on what's...
Yeah, that's the actual audio. If you're watching it for deaf, like, you know, if you're no, not deaf, blind. Yeah, for blind, they have like audio assistants to let you know what's going on in a scene. And then they play like the dialogue and then that goes on again to tell you what's going on. That is actually the audio. And it actually gets worse. It actually gets worse because when she goes to grab his saber, it basically explains how she's going to grab it and then how she stares him down when he steps out of the water. It gets very graphic. Very graphic. And it's just like, who the heck thought this was okay?
side you're standing on, truly, you know what I mean?
Because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
Oh, shut up, will you?
And I don't seem to recall any of us giving Amandla Stenberg the idea once the criticism started dying down to fire it all up again by releasing a diss track against Star Wars fans. No, I'm not sorry to tell you that it was everybody involved in making this show from...
It's funny how they had her play two roles, but they actually got twins to play the younger version.
Bob Iger to Kathleen Kennedy to Leslie Headland to Dave Filoni to the catering department that made the Acolyte the cultural phenomenon it was in all the wrong ways, which ultimately became the culmination of all of Disney Star Wars failures, because if YouTubers had anything to do with it, season 2 would be in production right now, and I think I can speak for all of my fellow content creators sincerely.
We would be excited for it. We would absolutely be excited for it.
Renew the Acolyte. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, Lucasfilm, I thank
Renew
you for
the
watching this
Acolyte.
long. I will see you in the next video.
Oh my gosh.
Nerdrotic.com, please.
Subscribe. Yeah, good. I enjoy his content. I've been watching Nerdrotic for a while. But yeah, I wanted to check that one out. He goes more live now than he does actual creating content, and I've always enjoyed like his breakdown. He's got a good editor, that's why. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. And the cope for like blaming the fans, but it's like the fans are what you want. They should be the ones that are your guiding compass for like, because the thing is, you can make something that a lot of people will go see, like The Force Awakens. But guess what? It doesn't have rewatch value. It doesn't have anything that anyone's willing to go back to enjoy it for. That's why you need fans. You don't need this shotgun approach, something for everyone. Because if it's for everyone, guess what? It's for no one. Because some people will be like, oh, I like this about it, but nobody will love it. And that's the thing. It was dead on arrival. All of Disney Star Wars was dead on arrival because everything was built for everyone. There was nothing there that was actually built with heart, designed with heart. I mean, I guess you can say the what was it? The Mandalorian started out that way, and then they went off the reservation.
You guys got a video? So bad.
forget to like and subscribe.
为什么呢？